Joining the
Holy
Discord if
shit.
necessary.
Nah, I
General
gotta get on
3's
the
the best
chat.
Discord, yes.
General
100%.
Look at everybody.
Jacques
I don't think
Percent.
I've ever seen the Gen Chat this full.
I have
I've
never
never
it's
seen the
seen
Gen
absolutely
Chat before.
insane.
Never.
There.
Nope, nobody remembers
My
what
friends.
Holy shit.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, voice is all the way down. That's better.
Oh my god,
Alright,
please
everyone
make
My
sure
friends,
you don't have...
please refrain from speaking in General 3 unless you are contributing to the event itself. Don't worry, there'll be chances for you to speak later. Please mute or go on push to talk, and make sure my volume and the volume of the other tour guides is at a suitable level for you.
Also, please just chalk in one thing and not both.
Pack, I've only said one rule and you've already violated it.
I know, I don't care.
I can mute you, you know. Additionally, friends, due to the number of people here, please make sure that the avatars you're using are optimized. The atmosphere of this map is designed for maximum immersion. On that note, make sure your world music is at a volume where you can hear the wind clearly in the background. Also, who is recording and or streaming tonight's event, please?
I'm recording.
So am I.
Diarmid, Pack,
I am.
Tech, thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Not at all.
Can we have the other tour guides speak so we can adjust their volume accordingly, please?
Sure. Sheen, please say a sentence that doesn't include the word cornbread.
I enjoy things that are not the word that you just said.
Thank you.
I will remain muted. But,
Rendizo,
I can't get my config right though.
please say a line.
I'll just go into the game.
Cornbread.
Very well. That is all the chance you get to adjust volumes of tour guides. As stated, friends, discussion in this channel will turn it very quickly to mud. If you want to speak with somebody, step away in-game and speak with them away from the group. This is completely fine. Now, friends, travelers, we have been waiting for this moment for a long time. Some of us longer than you can imagine. Please, stay behind me and follow me to the archive door.
Oh boy. This is gonna be fun.
Oh boy.
Exactly, Robot.
This is gonna be interesting.
I like this.
I am not seeing anything red.
What have I
Oh
done?
no.
Don't like
I see a blue
Is
flag.
anyone hearing me?
Geo?
I don't see any red. I don't know what you're talking about.
red represents life.
It wasn't Geo.
Go back to the
It's like a
Oh,
health
now I'm
potion.
seeing red. Okay.
I feel like it would
But I'm
smell
sure it's
very
not red and
musky
it's
in here.
purple. I guess it's interpretation.
The first rule is not to discuss or talk in here.
Alright.
You gotta talk in game.
Too bad.
I get goosebumps.
Jeez, if my scan feature was on, I would have scanned everything just like in Metroid Prime.
All I see is the blue sky.
just sounded like
You?
You were scared. I'm getting goosebumps because
I'm hearing
Everybody
some people
remember where we're
echo.
going.
They should
He's
probably
got
mute
the
themselves in
electricity ball.
VR chat.
That's what I was trying to
Or
say
just
when I
one, yeah,
broke
just
Trajan's one rule earlier.
Indeed.
That's right. Please make sure that you are muted in Discord, unless you are called on to say something to contribute to the event.
I won't be able to contribute.
Okay.
Volunteers.
Thank you for your contribution, Tech.
Well, I had to stand up to unmute myself in Discord, so I'm
talking in the game right now, but I'll mute myself here too.
Jean, Rendizo, are we all here?
Negative. Raving Rabbit seems to be AFK. I'm staying behind for them.
Not our baby.
Not
not
anything.
One moment, friends.
Is it?
Release the baby.
They said in Travelers,
the
I
baby.
believe, that they were going to be
Woo,
on an
baby,
errand.
woo.
Okay.
Don't kick the baby.
Also, please don't kick babies.
Cell, can you repeat that,
Raving is
please?
doing an
Throw the
errand.
baby.
Nerd.
Throw the
nerd.
baby.
Don't kick
Doing an
babies,
errand.
nerd.
Thank you.
Throw the
Sheen,
baby.
Raving will
Yes.
catch up. Ren, can you go and get Sheen?
Yeah.
Probably should do a little tuning on this weapon just in case.
Person just joined as well.
DJoy Remix has now joined. We're here for you, Ren.
Yay!
I didn't think he was gonna make it.
The world's full of surprises.
An important note. Once the event begins, if you have to rejoin for any reason, there will be a very obvious shortcut in the first room that will take you straight there. You don't need to navigate the library again.
Amazing.
Well,
Thank you for that.
are my fellow tour guides here?
Almost.
I think Sheen is still,
Before the library collapses,
coming.
Doctor Strange style.
We are here.
DDoS is the library.
Yay!
We crash.
Very well. Then it is time. Biblos, I have returned. It is the owner of this library, the one who contracted you to protect this place. It is Trajim. So, you have returned. Welcome back, little man. I have come to prove to you who I am, so that you will release the seal on my archives and give us access to the information I gathered all those centuries ago. You say that you are Trajim, yet I have nothing but your word to say who you are. Words alone shall not convince me. The contract states that I signed it with a spell. And do you remember this? I do. What if I were to cast that same spell now for you? Would that prove my identity? Little man, if you were to cast this same spell, I would be able to tell if the caster bore the same soul. So, go on. Show me what you can do. But know this. If I am not convinced, this door is never opening for you.
Does it smell dangerous?
We're about to find out.
I understand. All right. Here it goes. Ah, I see it is you. Trade him. Now,
Backflip.
Do
come in.
That was some magic right there.
I'm not seeing anyone so far.
Wow.
I have questions.
Hey, need to go in.
To the soul, everyone.
I'm
Any
One powerful spell.
Good.
For the blood god.
Everything's good. The door looks closed.
Wait, guys, look.
Yeah, that's
Aren't these some of the plaques that changed? Hey guys, aren't these some of the plaques that
Hey,
changed?
those were the plaques that Shadow Jim
My
was showing, wasn't
friends,
it?
general conversation is to be kept in VR chat. Please.
Oh.
I agree. I think.
Honestly, I thought the gate opening was gonna be more dramatic.
But
I'm kind of surprised it wasn't that.
Please move aside. I wish to take a picture.
Oh,
Shit.
They want you to take the wall.
well, crap, I'm in VR, I can't.
I have full body track. I don't have full body track.
Wait, what? How good?
Just punch it.
Open up the menu and you can just walk.
Yeah, I just say full body because my traffic was
If
bad
that's a
during
venue,
all
no.
Biblos. Biblos. What is this? Where are the archives? They are through the next door. Trade him. But I'm not letting you through.
Vagrant story music.
Why do I hear boss?
Something is wrong. I sense two of you occupying one body. A division of the soul. I will not allow intruders beyond this point. You get one chance, and one chance only. If only darkness remains, this seal will stay, and you will never gain access to the archives.
This really is a pain, isn't it?
So, Miblos. Very well. You have forced my hand.
Jim?
What the dog doing?
Oh no.
What the dog doing?
Gio, what did you do?
Stop blaming Geo for everything, for
Traveler.
God's sake.
For so long now, been watching you all. I have been listening very carefully. I have been waiting. I have been judging you. I have written down your every mistake, every error, your failures, your weaknesses. I have tested you all time and time again. And as a community, you have failed. You have failed. And who takes responsibility for this failure? Nobody. Travelers.
I mean, if you're genuinely asking, then it's a little bit of everyone. Like group effort, not in like a
The
bad way.
time for retribution is now.
Shit, does anyone have a power bomb?
Whoa!
I blame Dolly.
I fucking knew it was boss music.
Anyone got a plan? What do we do?
Left wall, left wall.
Quick, use Geo as a human shield.
I remember it so well. That fateful day when the travelers came so close to complete mutual understanding. And yet, it was not of the kind I wanted to see. Not the kind we wanted to see. What was it that the group was chanting? Ah. Yes. Kill him. You were chanting to kill someone. The travelers were chanting to kill a being in a narrative domain. The desert pirate. The prince. The desert prince from the painter. Trajan could not even fathom such a thing. He pushed down his disgust, his fury, his sorrow. He pushed it deep down, deep, deep down, and it formed a crack in his soul. That is the moment I was born. He does not see the darkness that you all proudly wear like badges. Tell me, travelers, how can you possibly justify such an abhorrent act as wishing death upon a person? Speak!
Well, I haven't wished death upon anyone. I don't recall this ever happening. You're prosecuting people who...
Travelers, listen carefully. Who will volunteer to answer this trial? Speak up now.
I'll try.
Oh my... No. No, please, no.
I'm sorry,
If you volunteer, you must use the general chat in Discord.
Should I volunteer?
Yes, that is
No.
what's causing all this. You are so
No.
I volunteer.
I know Trajan's a little fucked up in
This isn't the time for jokes, travelers. Everything's at stakes. Diarmid, I've heard you speak up in the general chat. The floor is yours.
Trajan, this action, unfortunately, cannot be justified. There was no reason for us to act this way. Of course, it could be said that we didn't know that a character in a narrative domain was a real person, but then that's only an excuse, isn't it? after Trajan expressed his sorrow for our actions during the run of the Painter, we changed. We stopped immediately desiring violence as the answer to situations such as those, and looked for ways in which we might protect characters in narratives as best as we could.
Diarmid, thank you for an answer. We need 2 more volunteers for this question. The question of the Desert Prince. Who will speak up?
Should probably be people who are there.
Sell.
We're gonna have to call the veterans for this one.
I can if it's okay with you guys.
I've heard you. Was that you, Amber, in the general chat?
Yeah.
Speak then on the path forward.
I will also say then, like Diarmid said, things like that don't really have a proper justification. I think it comes out of a lot of blind ignorance for things like that. Things that when presented with the choice to change, people who might have the understanding to go forward and do differently. Additionally, while I do agree a lot of people were getting into the spirit of things and going with the groupthink of steering for death, there were people who were like, hey, maybe let's not kill them, and that did help push to further on the later to try to find ways around it. So I think that you're hyper-focusing on just the negative aspect when there was the negative aspects, but there also was the positive in there too, and there isn't a justification for calling for death, but it was something that that did change as time goes on, so there's no justification for it. That is honestly our bad, but you have to judge not just on the isolated behavior, but in the context of what happens after. Thanks.
Two have spoken. They have spoken their
Do it,
thoughts,
Phil. I don't
and
care.
yet
Just do it.
there
Phil.
are so many
Do it.
opinions
Everybody's
down
telling
there.
you to do it. You do it now.
I wonder.
I'm not here telling him to do it. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to ask questions so I understand.
I wonder if anyone
Did you
who
guys,
still stands by that action
the ending of the Painter, or did you
dwells
go?
among
That was in
you,
the middle of the Painter.
and if they will speak.
That was
Did you commit
an
to
action
that
that was not all the time, but in the beginning a lot.
Most of the time.
That
Most
action.
of the time. Because we thought of unique ways to
I'll
suplex
speak on
the
that.
fight, because it was an open-ended
That
fight that we were able to do.
action.
At the end of the fight, we were able to choose to spare or
I
kill
can
him,
do it.
and the action had no
I
ramification
wasn't
in the
there
ending of the tour.
either. Shit.
All right.
That's
Who
And we
is
all
that
ended up chanting
that
his
wishes to
name.
speak up? What is your
I'm
name?
It's me, Geo.
Geo. Geo, speak up. You stand by the action you say. We're here to help Trajan. Choose your words wisely.
What we did was unforgivable. We went behind your back and we let someone very dangerous into this library, not knowing who they were, what they wanted. We acted on impulse and limited information, and as a result, we have done something that no amount of apologies can ever fix. It's not something we are proud of doing. It is our biggest regret. I don't think anything will ever make it right. And I think that the only way that I really can show regret for what I and the others have done is with our actions.
I have heard 3 of you speak. And I am not satisfied.
Oh, shit.
No.
Is anyone else allowed to speak?
Travelers, listen carefully. I'm able to detect ether, and this ether, these beams, this is dark ether. This is not good. We need to find a way to prevent these columns from igniting another beam to Trajan. I don't know what's going to happen if all 6 columns are ignited, but we can't let it happen for sure.
Could breaking them work?
I don't think we can reach him.
Travelers, do you remember the day we first came into this library together? I do. And I remember what you did. Back then, I thought to myself, surely the travelers wouldn't betray the tour guides. But how else would I know except to leave a test? I laid out a trail of breadcrumbs. And what did you do? You left the back door open for an enemy to make his way into this sacred place. You let in a stranger, an intruder, someone who means you great harm. You doubted the integrity and honesty of the tour guides, but instead of taking it to our faces, you went behind our backs. And to make things worse, most of you don't even know what I'm talking about. How can I see this as anything but betrayal?
Travelers, who among you knows what this event speaks of? Take the floor. State your name.
I think I can go first, I'd imagine.
This is the time to speak.
Yes, I've heard you.
I don't know
Yulish.
the context.
Is that you?
Yes, Mishin.
Yulish. We are depending on you. Speak for the future. We are here for Trajan.
Alright. You are correct about the events that have transpired. However, the betrayal was not as one-sided, as clear and straightforward as you might think. You see, what you consider in this scenario as a betrayal was actually our dear and honest concern, because your presence and your influence over the other part of Trajan made it really hard to depend upon the previous trust we had. And all we did was, in a very serious and very deep hope, that we could just get one more angle at the situation. The intent was never meant to betray the tour guides. We never meant to do any harm. It was all because we were concerned something wrong is happening, and we had nobody to reach out to, basically. This was the only hope, the only light in the tunnel, and it was really, really dark back then. We were very confused, maybe not misinformed, but very uninformed. And I'm not going to say this was the right decision, but it certainly seemed like it could be the right decision at that moment. You can judge this decision with full information, and that's when it becomes clearly a wrong one. But we have never intended for this outcome.
So many words. So many excuses from all of you.
It's no excuse.
You don't even understand, do you? You don't understand!
Travelers, listen carefully. I've searched the timelines while you've been talking. I now see the event he speaks of. The physicist. The physicist was let into the library. It was our mistake. My friends, I think I understand this puzzle bit by bit. I believe we should not concentrate on defending what has already happened, our actions, but instead something else. Travelers, I'm not sure. I don't know what this other half of Trajan wants, but I do know that Trajan is split in half and needs our help. Who will speak next? The question
like
of
to
the
speak.
physicist.
I,
J-Monkey.
Jimothy, would like to speak.
The floor is yours, J-Monkey.
I forgot.
I don't have the answer. 'Cause I haven't been to any
Regarding the physicist being let into the library, we have made a mistake, and we do not know how to make amends, other than to say, I'm sorry. If there's anything we can do, let us know.
You don't
That is all.
understand. You don't understand.
Travelers, we have time for one more to answer this question of the physicist being let into the library.
Nice tea.
Please, is there a way we can help Trajan come to terms with what has happened without defending or trying to justify our past actions? Nice tea. Do you wish to speak?
Yes, I wish to speak.
The floor is yours.
Yes. Trajan, throughout this whole time, these people have been defending our actions, which is fair. But we're all capable of doing, well, evil things for enjoyment. I have been deriving enjoyment out of the pain that people in these tours, in these narrative realms, have been suffering through. It is true. I believe that other people, maybe even all of the people, have been deriving enjoyment out of this. I enjoy metagaming. You know, seeing what the outcome would be if I inflict pain on some of the characters. I don't think that's something we should hide. Just like you shouldn't hide. It's the side that we don't want seen, but, you know, it's true. It's out there, just like you. That's it.
Suggest that we allow this disgusting behavior and understand. You don't understand. You don't understand.
Well, then what do you want? What kind of behavior, what response are you looking for? Clearly nothing anyone's
I
saying
remember
is flattering.
what else you did with this trail of breadcrumbs. Some of you made it to the second floor of the power plant. And you snuck around our private laboratory, my personal accounts, confidential documents, breaking in like common thieves. And you kept it all in a little circle, pointing fingers of accusation at others at the slightest misstep. How cowardly, how selfish to lurk in the shadows and scheme.
Anyone care to explain?
But that's a fail. Somebody come up with some.
Travelers, I believe I may be beginning to understand this. Listen carefully. I have observed mortals grow the most when they find a way to come to terms with past actions and accept who they are now as positive progress. Focusing on defending past actions to vindicate oneself often opens the flow for dark ether. It all makes sense. That's what's happening in this room. The path to becoming whole is never all good. Keeping eyes on the path forward, even after many negative events, even after you have broken into the power plant and withheld information from the tour guides in their private space. This will require accepting all of it as a means of balance, all of it as a means of where we are today. It's not about why we did it. Perhaps this is what mortals refer to as true strength. Traveler's Trajum is strong, I know this for sure, but nowhere is it written in the rules of reality that any of us have to travel this path alone. Please, how can we help Trajum come to terms with what has happened?
I wish to speak up.
You have the floor.
Luna, was that you?
That is me.
Luna, the floor is yours.
You are correct. We did go to the second floor. We did snoop around. And all of us here today are wanting to help you. That doesn't justify our actions from before. But we want to see this through. We want to turn our wrongdoings into something that we want to confess. And we are sorry. I believe everyone in this circle of the insiders should speak as well, alongside with me.
Alright.
We all know who we are.
Would everyone who is an insider please stand forwards?
I'll just name all of us. How about that?
Okay.
That works.
Cell plays games. Coffee VR. Yolyush. Myself. Geo. Nice Tea. Stumacow. Yurova. And Protag-chan. The original people who snuck into the library. Along with Luna. Silent Sonic.
And
Falcon.
Falcon KPD.
Our actions cannot be excused.
We have done great evil and that cannot be taken back.
But right
Generally.
now, we wish to atone. And we wish to help you. Help VR travelers.
Since then, we have kept nothing from any tour guide.
I'm not sure how much you believe. We're not holding anything back. Actions speak louder than words, so let us... If there's anything we can do. Anything all of us can do to speak. To act for what we've done.
Yeah, we shouldn't ignore the Dark Wolf, bro.
We can. You have said
Dark
that.
Wolf. Nice tea. If you're telling me not to ignore the Dark Wolf, what do I do with it?
You accept it as a part of yourself. There's no shame in having a light wolf and a dark wolf. They can coexist.
You're telling me, Geo, I just accept the anger, the envy, the sorrow, I accept regret, greed, arrogance. I accept self-pity. I accept guilt. I accept resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, ego. I just accept it all, Geo.
Yes.
Were you not
said
once
it to
human,
yourself.
can't you? Trajan?
Yes, you do accept that.
Everyone.
Trajan, did you
has
not
said
tell
it.
yourself once? Anger is depression turned inward. Bottling up your negative emotions can only make them worse.
Nobody is perfect.
To let
Nobody can
go.
always be happy. It's okay. It's okay to be a little angry. To not always feel good. But that's normal. And if you always feel positive, then that's not right either. Too much of one thing is not a good thing.
Acceptance is one of the first steps of moving forward.
Look, without vices, there will be no virtues. You know, a dragon once said, "What is better, to be born good or to overcome your evil nature through great effort?" As Parthenos.
I wish to overcome this together with you.
You have to
Everyone
overcome
here.
yourself.
I don't know how. I don't know how.
What? Let us help you.
And we'll teach you.
We will teach you.
We'll figure
and
it
we will
together.
help
No.
you. Together. Trajan.
And
Travelers, we're doing it.
No. I see how you all act during tours, treating them as experiments, behaving recklessly with real lives. You act like gods, filled with morbid curiosity and arrogance. You were willing to make choices knowing many would die, all for the sake of looking for clues, inconsequential information. Yes, let's take a book to fight against the Dream Devourer. A book!
I will speak up.
I can.
Yes.
think I can.
Who was that? What is your
Ether
name?
Memento.
Ether Memento.
Is the floor.
I can see now. This bolt of ether connecting to Trajan from the wall. It's red. It is anger. It is the one emotion that I believe Trajan does not display. I understand that this usually means something for mortals, but I need more time to think. The question he speaks of is experimenting on tours, causing deaths for the sake of greater knowledge. What do you say to this, Ether Memento?
I say to this, it's because we were trying to find understanding. We lacked exactly that of which you speak. Because as we were to find these clues, we did not understand exactly what you were meaning, what you were trying to discuss.
No. 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 You're wrong. You're wrong.
Travelers, I think the incorrect course of action is to defend our past actions. I repeat, I believe we should not be defending the past actions of whatever question Trajan poses. Instead,
We think about the future and the present.
we need to help Trajan come to terms and accept what has happened and describe the path forward. Dolly, would you like to take the floor?
Yeah, please. Okay.
It's
Sorry.
yours.
I would like to.
Trajan, listen to me. God, I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. It's just the sort of thing makes me do a lot of thinking, Trajan. Please listen to me. When we do things in the past, we inflict a lot of pain. We hurt people, we hurt ourselves, we do such terrible things. We've done it throughout histories. We've caused wars within ourselves, within other people. People have died. We've killed, we've enslaved others, but we've moved forward. We've done such terrible things. We go through these friendships, and as a child, you know, we fall, we scrape our legs, and we put bandages on them in the end, you know. When we go through emotional turmoil that is inflicted on us because of the stress of someone else, sometimes we have to hurt others to get through it, to grow and move forward, because we know it's what's best for us and we know what's best for them. We want to develop, to create a better future for ourselves. Sometimes being better, preparing for the future, you have to hurt others in order to do that, to accept yourself, to accept who you are fully. There is a negative side, and that's unfortunate, and that sucks, but that's what makes you human. And negativity, it comes out on people, and that's unfortunate, and it sucks to look back on that. People do terrible things, but we wouldn't be people without doing those terrible things, you know? You can't apologize for these negative actions enough. And no matter how much you apologize, there are things that you just can't take enough accountability for. However, you wouldn't be the person you are today if you didn't commit those acts and grew to be a better person. Or maybe you even grew to be worse. But you wouldn't have become the person you are without those actions. It makes you the type of person you are today. And the Trajan we know, that's who you are. And we like that Trajan. So embracing that side of yourself, neglecting it, seeing it as an evil rather than a part of yourself, I think that sort of thing is evil. Negativity, it's not bad. It's human. It's mortal. That's what makes us mortal. I don't know. That's what I think.
The darkness is a part of me.
Yes, and it's natural.
Yes.
It's what makes the light shine. And when you can't have light if there's no darkness. And if you didn't have a shadow, there'd be no silhouette of who you are. Does that make sense? Do you understand?
I hear you, Dolly. Almost, I hear you. Help me. No! Stop! You don't understand. I watch you all. I see how you all act during tours. The way you treat strangers, newcomers, potential allies. A new member joins the tour, fresh with ideas and potential, ready to have their lives changed. And they make a suggestion that happens to be done before. What's the reaction? What does this wholesome community say? No. No, we've tried that. It doesn't work. No encouragement, no support, no compassion, cold like a machine, mechanical. That's how I see all of you. You're just robots, trying to solve a calculation with no sense of greater purpose. Cold and inhumane.
Ouch.
It's the robot.
Travelers,
I have like
this one is tough.
I know.
Listen carefully.
Alright.
Trajan speaks for the newcomers that often join and, as he describes, get shut down. This will be difficult, because it strikes a nerve with many, including myself. But we must steer clear of defending this action, and instead, not justify it, but help Trajan come to terms with it. Who will speak?
May I
You
speak
remember, may I?
as a newcomer?
Go ahead.
What is your name?
Me? I'm Chloe on the Discord, but I'm not sure
Of course.
what my name is. Okay.
The floor is yours.
I joined this group fairly recently. I've only been on one tour myself, and I don't really know anyone very well or what's happening here. But I can say that I understand wanting to perform heinous acts on any given tour to shut down newcomers because everyone just wants to see the end of the story, right? The happy ending. And, you know, sometimes you try all the happy things and it doesn't end very well. And when it comes to stories, a story that's happy all the way through is no story at all. I'm sure you understand that as a storyteller yourself. So if people want to try new things, even things that aren't necessarily the best outcome for everybody or for the characters in the story, maybe that's because they just want to reach the best overall outcome. Maybe the ends do justify the means. And for you, if you go on this path of darkness, don't you think that'll end in an unhappy ending? Don't you want to write the best ending of the story possible as a storyteller?
Chloe, as a newcomer, you don't know what's going on here. And yet, with all you've heard, you're saying that this is normal? To be expected? To be accepted?
Yes. Sometimes you just have to break a few eggs when you make an omelet, right? That's why that saying exists.
But do others agree with you?
Yes.
Travelers,
Yes.
do we agree with the newcomer?
Yes.
Yes. We do.
100%.
I agree.
You don't gotta accept
Yes.
it for sure. Yeah.
For me, when I first joined and experienced this, I kind of was in that situation. I've learned from that too, that everybody here is trying to get the happy ending and trying to just finally understand and finish the story and see it all the way through and just enjoy it and just love just all that work that you guys put into it, just to have and just treasure. Since I've joined, I've had nothing but happy times, even though we put down some things like that. I've seen it firsthand, and I was a part of it when I first joined, but the more I look and the more I understand, the more I realize we're just trying to find a happy ending and trying to just do it, just understand and have just the greatest time. We wish, and Diarmid, everybody else, all the old people that have been a part of this, they all wish to show newcomers the happy endings and just show them that there is a good side.
Robotic. Are you saying it doesn't matter how hard we try on the path to the good ending, people will always get hurt?
Yes. Everybody gets hurt, and you always have to stand up and
It doesn't make
walk,
sense.
keep on
It
walking.
doesn't make sense. I don't understand. It shouldn't have to be that way.
Not much really
That's how
does.
life is.
Yeah, life doesn't make sense.
Trade
When
Jim.
somebody knocks you down, you have to stand back.
If I may speak on this, the newcomers are not shut down. You're wrong. Instead, their hearts are ignited by the group purpose here as we plow forward to seek the good ending. They are empowered, motivated by the others' encouragement for the correct answers. And the fact that your heart is not ignited as well, means you're weak, Trajum, and you're not accepting your true self.
No. Sheen, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm not weak. I'm not weak. No, I'm not the problem. They're the problem.
Travelers, we need one more to speak of this question of newcomers. Who will take the floor?
Going on that thing about what you said about being weak. There's nothing wrong with being weak.
Why is that, Gio?
It just means you need a little help. And there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Yes, there is.
And if you're willing to accept help, you're also willing to make connections and make friends and meet new people and show a side of you that people may very much like.
Everybody has weakness. But strength is not the lack of weakness. It is the ability to overcome your weakness.
I think that's why we come together as well, is because we can fill in each other's weaknesses.
That is why we stand. That's why we stand together.
I can't overcome them. I don't know how.
We'll find out.
Hey, I got a little idea.
We can do it together.
What if you simply don't need to overcome them?
What do you mean?
You don't have
That's
to.
what everyone's saying. I need to do it.
You don't have to overcome the idea of weakness. There's nothing wrong with being weak or being angry or being these sort of things. This is a natural part of life. You need to have these weak moments to move forward and be strong, and you need to have these strong moments to be vulnerable and have these sensitive moments. They go hand in hand. Just because you could move forward and grow doesn't mean that you should abandon these parts of yourself entirely. Having weakness is an important part of existing. If we weren't weak, and like I said before, we wouldn't be human. We would just be emotionless. It's important to have emotions, because then what are we?
Robots.
The last person once said, it's okay not to be okay. But to say to get over something, it's one thing, but to offer help and guidance and an ear is another. It's okay to be weak. And from that we grow.
I'm not weak. I'm not weak. I'm not weak. You're wrong.
You saying you're not weak proves that you are, since you're not accepting it.
I am
What do you need to prove it?
all powerful. I am not weak.
What's so wrong with being weak?
You want us to accept our faults. You want us to accept what we've done, our wrongdoings, but you can't even accept yourself.
Wait, these plaques on the wall.
Yes.
These are here because of Trajum. He has put them here. Travelers, guide your eyes to the plaques on the walls. What do they mean? How do they apply?
They won't help you. They won't help you. You can't win. I'm going to win.
Who are you trying to prove to?
To differ.
I don't have to prove anything to anyone. No. The Trajan you know is useless.
That's not true.
You are the Trajan we know.
That is a lie.
Whether or not, and we are here to help you accept that.
The Trajan I know. When the Trajan I know expresses his weak moments, it helps me feel stronger. And in a way, it's funny, because the reason I feel stronger is through his weakness. And it's not a moment of, oh, this Trajan is pathetic, I feel stronger than him. It's because I sympathize. And it makes me happy to know that I'm not alone. It's not weird to feel weak.
Nobody can understand.
Based
No,
on-
I'm different. I am alone.
There is no shame in
Trajan.
feeling weak.
Trajan, we are here for you. You don't have to be afraid.
You don't have to be alone.
No, you're here for the archives. You're here for
I don't
the
care about
information
the
to get the
archives.
good ending. Don't you
I
want a
don't
good
care
ending?
about the archives.
Would you be happy with a bad ending? Would you?
It doesn't matter anymore.
If it
Why
meant
not?
helping you, then so
Just
what?
because of
I'm
Why are we
positive
arguing?
outcome doesn't
Why-
mean necessarily
best
it's a
ending-
good ending. Sometimes the negative outcome is the good ending. And sorry, no, we can't fix you. You're the only one who can fix yourself. Everyone else can just be here to help you along the way. So you want to go and say that you're weak or whatever, then why are you fighting back?
I'm not broken.
Mind if I speak on this matter? Honestly, this whole time I've been trying to help with getting to the archives. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to go into the archives. I wanted to do it because I wanted to help you, man. That's why I wanted to do it. In all honesty.
Trajan
Me.
is right.
You're.
The good ending is helping you.
We weren't. I didn't do this for the good ending. I did this because I wanted to help you.
There were unknown things beyond our control.
I didn't come here because of the archives either. I came here because of you. I came here to celebrate you. I don't even care what's in the archives. I don't even know what's in the archives. I came because of you. I don't even know all this stuff.
No. What are you doing?
It's okay,
What are you
Trajan.
doing? No, you're all wrong. Look. No. What about the keys? Yes, the library keys. I had them all along. I had all of them. Of course I did. And I
So,
thought,
what a
a test of integrity. Ask all of you who the key should go to. And what did I receive in response? People who have no right to own the keys or gain sole access to the library. People that shouldn't be trusted. Jokes. They are my property. This building, this realm, is mine. No, none of you understand. It's all mine. You don't deserve it.
You're right. We don't.
It is yours. Maybe that's exactly why you had the keys. Maybe this is just you trying to come back together, to accept yourself. Maybe that's why we're all here.
Accept myself.
Yeah.
You're onto something. Why should Trajan accept himself? How can he accept himself?
Do I need to accept myself?
Yes.
You don't?
Yes.
Or you do?
Yes, I
Of course.
do.
Yeah.
Because
all
without
have our-
accepting, if you don't accept
Do
yourself, you
I
can't move
need
forward in life.
To accept myself.
Yes, you do.
Technically.
Do you believe? Do you need?
I agree with
to accept
Gio.
yourself?
Who said no?
I think
I
said no.
Explain.
Nice.
Okay. First of all, you're bad, okay? You've done bad things. The only way to overcome this, or to deal with this fact, is by acknowledging it. You know, the Grandmaster said, you know, the one that you ignore is always going to win. So what you should do is just not be oblivious to the fact that you exist, not ignore the feelings that you're having, because that's going to get you nowhere. You don't have to. You don't have to accept it. You know. You just have to acknowledge it.
I have to acknowledge it. Have to. Should. Need. All these words. All these unattainable concepts. Should I? Do I need to? Do I have to?
Yes, you should. You should acknowledge it.
It is highly recommended.
Well, what do you want then?
Your choice.
Genuinely, out of your choice, what do you want? If no one else is pressuring you or influencing you for anything, what do you want? What would make you happy?
What would make you happy?
We aren't
We
talking
can't decide
the
for you.
Trajan that is happening. We're talking to the half that isn't. But I know what
Yeah.
Trajan wants.
I'm not talking to one half or the other. It's all Trajum, one part or another. It's both parts are just fucking Trajum.
The
So,
most important part,
angry part
Sarah.
and happy part, what do you want? No one can decide that for you. We want to help you. We can make suggestions, but ultimately, like, seriously, when you sit down and think about it, what do you want? Do you even know?
The most important part are that these are two separate halves, and not acknowledging them means that you're neglecting the other half. We're
But they're
trying
not
to
separate. They're part of the same
They
person.
quite
It's the
literally
same
said
person.
that they're two halves.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
And that's the point is that it's not separate. It's like you like it's not separate, and you shouldn't regard it as separate. It's two parts of the same being. Sometimes you have off days. Sometimes you have times where it's like, yeah, you are shitty. You're shitty to other people. You're shitty to yourself. Sometimes you have times where you sit down and remember, oh no, I would never treat someone that I care about or my friend like this. And then you have to remember to try to treat yourself with that same sort of gentleness. Like it, but yeah, it's like you said before. Sometimes there's bad because that's just part of who we are. So stop trying to like refer it as one person or the other. It's the same person.
Treat myself with gentleness?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I mean, you can sit down and beat yourself up over things that go wrong or things you wish you could have done better, but that's and yeah, you can do that, or you can sit down and you don't. That doesn't mean ignore shit that you've done poorly. Think about it. You can sit down and go, man, in the future, I don't want to do that anymore. That's not the person or kind of actions that I want to do. I want to be different. But don't go so far that you completely remove all your boundaries and let people like step all over you. But far enough that you're also not overbearing it and doing those kinds of things that you don't want to be anymore. You can be gentle to yourself. It's easy to just beat yourself up if you're having a bad day or something goes wrong, but then you have to remember that like you're just one person. No matter how many centuries you live or how many like things you've experienced or done, you're still only one person and you can only do so much, and that's okay. You don't need to push yourself all the time. Sometimes it's okay to go like, man, I've had a rough day. I've had a hard time. Things haven't gone the way that I've wanted to. But that's okay because I'm still been trying. You still got up in the morning. You still went out and you still did something. Even if you just woke up and existed for the next day, that's enough sometimes. Sometimes you just have to be nice to yourself, and that's harder than beating yourself up. It's not easy. Being nice to yourself is hard. Practice. Little baby steps.
What do I do?
You just
You're
start
telling
one
me
thing.
to be gentle to myself, to accept myself. How? What do I do?
Well, start by you probably have a few key things that are personal to yourself that you're most upset about. Those might not necessarily be things that you share with other people. When you have those things and you're thinking about those things, try to think about them in the frame of view. It's the easiest way that I've found to try to do it is if you're gonna say something or do something to yourself or regard it, think about the person that you love most in the world. would you treat that person in that way? And if you wouldn't, why would you treat yourself in that way? You have people who love you in the way that you love people like that. And how would they feel if they knew that you were being treated like that, yet alone by yourself? So you want to treat others how you want to be treated, but you got to treat yourself like how you'd like to treat others.
No.
Please
There
calm
is
down.
no love here.
Nobody?
Not even yourself?
No.
It's not a single thing, not even a object or a idea that you love.
Well, honestly, if this is just an interpretation of complete evil, in that case, we could have repurposed it elsewhere.
No
But
one
either
is
way,
telling
I don't
me
think
All we need is love.
You
answer.
don't have
Trajan.
You want to know how.
Because you have to find out the answer for
Alright.
yourself. That's
can't
yours
tell you
to
what you
discover.
want.
It's going to be unique for your individual self. You can have people give you advice, but just like how we can read the plaques on the wall.
Amber. Amber.
Stop
for a moment.
Trajan, to be gentle to yourself first, you need to acknowledge the feelings inside yourself. You need to open up. You need to let everything out.
Yes,
That's the
Trajan.
first step.
What are you hiding? What are you not showing us? What are you afraid to show yourself? Which emotion is it?
Afraid. What am I afraid of?
What do you fear most?
What am I afraid of? I'm not scared of anything. No. No. I am not weak. I am not afraid. I don't need to accept myself. I don't need to be gentle to myself. No. This is the path that I must take. You don't understand. So many words, so little meaning.
Then I have 4 words for you, Trajan. Let it out, Tanchu.
Don't. He's not here. He's not here right now. Don't do that.
Let it out, Tanchu.
Let it out, Tanju.
No.
Let it out.
What are you doing?
Let it out.
Let it out.
Let it out.
What are you doing?
Let it out, Trajan!
Everyone
Let
now.
it out.
We confess. You
Trajan, let
confess.
it all out.
Trajan,
Confess to yourself.
let it out. No.
Let it out. Tanshu.
You're
Let it out,
wrong.
Trajan.
So let it
What
out.
are you doing?
Let it out.
Be angry
Tanshu.
at us, damn it.
You show me a true
Let it
meaning
out,
of
Tanshu.
forgiveness.
You gotta let it out.
Stop. Let it out.
Let it out.
Stop
Tanshu.
it.
Show me a true forgiveness.
Let it
Forgive
out.
yourself.
Let it
Forgive
out.
yourself.
Let it out. Let it out.
Forgive
We're here
yourself.
for it.
You won't
Let
stop
it out.
until you let it out.
Let it out.
Let it out. Let it out.
Let
Let it
Anywhere
out.
until
it
you
out.
let it 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 out.
Love yourself.
Hurry up.
It's okay to love
Let
yourself.
it out.
It's okay to accept yourself.
Let it out.
Let it out.
Let it
It's for
out.
you.
Let it out.
Let it out.
Let it out.
Silence.
Let it
One
all.
more.
Let it out.
No silence. Let it out.
No.
Let it
No,
out.
seriously.
Speak.
Let
Let
it
him
out.
speak.
Let it
Let him
out.
speak.
There's
Don't speak.
Quiet. None of you know what you're talking about. All the things that you've all done. All these horrible things. You're saying the problem is with me? That I just need to express it. It can't be that
Yes.
simple.
Yes, it is that simple.
It's
Tell
very
us
simple.
how much you hate us.
We
so
will
that we
show
may
you.
work together to
We
become
will
whole
show
again.
you if you just let
How
it.
can you
let it
fix
go.
something if you don't know it's broken? You need
Exactly.
to tell us.
We've made mistakes. Help us fix them.
Actually,
Help us.
We want
Help.
we want
help
to do
us
better, but we
help
can't know
you.
to do better if you don't tell us something is wrong.
Do you mind if I raise my
We-
hand real quick?
Let
I
us
think
help you.
the real problem is you're looking at the half of yourself as a problem rather than an entire situation. If you keep thinking that people are looking at you as a problem, these negative aspects of yourself, you yourself viewing yourself as the problem, these antagonizing issues, they'll keep going. You are one big situation that everyone adores. Accepting that, just being okay. Part of being okay. It's going through these negatives, it's going through the positives. There's no problem, there's no solution. We're just a situation, an experience. And it's okay to feel your feelings. You're right. You aren't the problem. You're Trajan. And that's it.
You always will be Trajan. Accept it.
Whether you're good, whether you're bad, you're still Trajan. And isn't that
Are
what matters?
Trajan. You're you.
You're
Be
you.
you.
You're you.
You are you,
You
Trajan.
are
You are you.
No
You're
problem.
Trajan.
Jim is Jim.
No solution.
Jim.
It just is.
And if there is a problem, voice it so we may all help you. So we all can help each other.
Help us help you. Help us help yourself.
Let us help you.
Relationships are a two-way street.
And you have been voicing the problems, and we've been answering.
We always been following you, Trajan. And we
we
still
always
will. You just gotta let go and show us that you know you're a better person than you are right now. This is not you. The
No.
real you.
No,
It is him.
It is you.
It is him.
It is
It
absolutely
Whether
him.
he's good, whether he's bad, he is still Trajan. And that's what matters.
There is no
That's
bad,
why
there is
we
no
want.
good. There's only yourself.
You are you.
And that's
Nobody
all that
else.
matters.
Your soul signed the spell. What makes you
There-
any different now? It's
If
There is
there
one-
was no such
you know-
thing as sin,
you
then
know, if I
there will
may,
be no evil.
if I
You are
would,
you.
without good, there is no evil. Without evil, there is no good. The two must coexist, or there's just meaningless.
The meaningless
And
of no happiness.
if I may quote Star Wars, only a Sith deals in absolutes.
I am. I am just Trajan.
Yes.
And it'll be okay.
We'll be okay.
And you will always be Trajan.
Nothing will ever change that.
Ooh, woo.
Yes. You've been right.
Who fucking said that?
Everything you all have been said has been right. Tour guides, even travelers, for all of this. They cannot speak themselves, although they cannot justify it all. For their carelessness, abuse of trust and power. For what they did, they don't deserve sympathy, pity, or forgiveness. They don't have simply the means to earn it. Yet. Like for Sheen. Like for when they realized what the narratives truly were. Once they realized their mistake, they tried to make it better. Not seeking simply to apologize and be forgiven, but to fix it. And move forward. Everything they did, what you did, was to see one final better tomorrow.
You have been acting and feeling very alone. Not just with the travelers, but with your whole life. Keeping these feelings bottled inside. Like an echo chamber of warping memories and ideas, they are killing you. Who you truly are and burying you inside yourself. To talk to them as they talk to you, to be on true equal footing is the true answer to your problem. Strive to do better, to make each other better. That is the meaning of a community. Life is not a matter of achieving something. It is about the strive, the struggle. Not to contain it, but to learn how to live with it. Those feelings, those trusts, those friends. Don't let this be an ending. Let this be not a good ending, a bad ending. Just let it be. Be a lesson. A lesson to all of you. That throughout the entire struggle, you will face obstacles and be an obstacle. Only by talking to one another, like you all right now, to debate all this, is to find a peace between it all. Find peace. Find yourself.
You know, I'd like to add something if I may. This is gonna sound weird, but I'm kind of glad this happened. I think out of everyone here, I can probably understand where you're getting at the most. It's easier to just feel one set of emotions all the time. It really is. I probably know that better than most people. I do that pretty often. Why do you think I'm so silly all the time? It's not because I'm just a silly person. It's because it's easier. It's so much easier to always pretend you're happy, to put on the mask, so that no one else has to know that deep down inside you feel broken. It is so much easier than admitting that something is wrong with you, that you're hurting, because in the eyes of others that makes you seem weak, and that, I'm not going to lie, that's something that I still struggle with. I've been struggling with it for a while. I don't like admitting it. I struggled with loving myself. I don't think I've fully loved myself for a long time. But I think I'm learning what that means, and you've helped me, I guess, with that. You and everyone else here, and I'm very glad I met you all. I know I'm a silly person, or that I act that way, but I get it. I really do get it. I can't tell you how to fix it, because I'm not you. The only person that knows how to fix yourself is you. Because if we could fix other people, then what would be the point of there being other people, right? Humans are unique. That's what makes us special. And without that uniqueness, then what's the point of being a person? What's the point of living if you don't feel more than one emotion? It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel upset. You know, after that time where I showed you the thing I wasn't supposed to, I've been getting shit about that from everybody. And I know I act like I'm chill with it, like I don't care, but I do. Every time I gets brought up, there's this part of me that's boiling, and that just wants to snap, to do something, but I don't. I just don't do it. And maybe I don't know if that's right or wrong to not say something about it, but when I take it in stride, accept that it happened, that there's nothing I can do to change it, despite regret, I just, taking it in stride, I guess, helps. I feel better about myself when I take it in stride. And I feel a lot better when I feel better about myself. and I think you
Well
get the point.
said. Travelers, you've all spoken. We've been here all along, Trey Jim. You've been looking inward, and we're waiting for you to look back and walk with us to continue our travels. You've been silent, Trey Jim. What say you?
I see. I see what's happening. My soul split into two. My soul, which is so different from others. The ether from countless deaths coalescing in the Unus Mundus into a unique cloud. And a fresh, new will bestowed upon this cloud of agony by life itself. The pain of 100 lives in an infant will. My darkness separated itself because it was too strong. I saw it rise up one day. My rage, my hurt, my sadness, and I pushed it away. I pushed it down, and it grew out of sight in the dark, like a dejected child. Why did I do that? I was scared. I was afraid of myself. I didn't want to hurt anyone else. Pushing it away felt like the right thing to do. All this anger, all this hatred, I don't know what to do with it.
I do.
For thousands of years, I have lost every single friend I have ever made. All of them. I'm stuck, trapped in a cycle of suffering, and it hurts. It hurts so much, and I just want it to end. Why do I still exist? Why am I still alive? All I do is hurt people, hurt myself, get hurt. Wounds that form scars. Scars that never heal.
Trey Jim, if I may
But
say, that you
I see now.
need...
Wishes kindly. Be silent.
That it wasn't the right thing to do. Travelers. Friends. I admit I wanted you to suffer, just like I did. I wanted you to know how I felt. I guess I wanted to feel a little less alone in my pain. What a pathetic existence. I abused my power. And you. I was blind to what my darkness did once it separated. But that's no excuse. My inaction caused suffering. My own thoughts and feelings gave birth to that which I was so afraid of. I'm sorry. I understand if you hold this against me, and if you don't want to forgive me, or if you don't want to. But I'm so sorry.
Would you like a hug?
There's nothing
I
to do
give
but
you
a group hug. Come
Trajan.
on.
People need to learn to forgive, and we do forgive you. There should be always second chances.
Thank you for being you.
Gather around Trajum.
I have autism, and people make fun of me,
Give
but I
him
have
the
to learn to
greatest
forgive
hug
them.
that you could possibly imagine.
There is no one here
Where is
that
he?
wouldn't forgive you. I can't find
Thank you
him.
for being you, little buddy.
I know what it's
Oh, I
like to
found
be
him.
like
It's
this
a
because
mosh
I have
pit.
autism, and
If I
you
could
showed me
find
the
you
right
in this
way.
pie, I'd kiss
And
you.
I would never not forgive you. You should always forgive people, even if it's something stupid.
Where the fuck are you?
You taught me that, Trey
I'm
Jim.
looking for you. Oh, I found his sweet face.
Travelers,
Thank you, Trey Jim.
a word for you. Anger seems to have been a difficult emotion for Trajum to express. But thanks to the guidance of you all, we now know that anger is appropriate. If you feel anger in life, here, in VR Travelers, or anywhere, it's normal. Don't regret it when you've moved past it. When you go to your friends to apologize for things you said in anger, it's all right. We all do. It's a part of life. Don't regret it, but thank yourself for being stronger afterwards. You would do the same for your friends, would you not?
Yes,
And
I
Trajum
would.
here. Trajum here. You have learned this lesson the hard way, it seems. But as you know, it is not written anywhere in the rules of reality that you have to travel this path alone. I've said this before, Trajum, but we're here with you. If you want to get angry, do it. And I'll still be here when you calm down. Isn't that right, travelers?
Absolutely.
100%.
Yes,
Absolutely.
We all forgive everybody. Everybody is friends here.
Yes,
Let's
it
all
is.
be friends
I
here.
promise I'll only cry a little bit.
We're all friends here.
Relationships are roller coasters. You get your ups and downs.
I can't promise that I haven't already
Nothing is
cried.
perfect, and I
I'm
wouldn't have it
annoying,
the other way.
and I'm not perfect. Gio's not perfect.
I'm far
You
from
know,
perfect.
I've annoyed a couple people here, and I wish I was friends with them. But you know,
I'm just an idiot.
you, Trey Jim, you helped us. Remember what I said? Remember what you said to me? That not everybody's gonna forgive you. Everybody has their own own doubts and their own, you know, morals. But if you can be strong enough by people telling you to forgive people, you know, maybe you can develop a little bit of morals. And Trajan, you have the biggest morals of all, and you have, you know, you're able to forgive yourself, and we're able to forgive you. And I wish people can forgive everybody, including me, Geo, you, Trajan, Sheen, anybody who's ever done anything wrong, including Dolly. For your birthday, we said all these nice things about everything you've done for us.
That's
We
different.
thank you, Trajan.
Not Tour Jim.
That's
This is Trajan, not
This is
Trajan.
Tour Jim. Different Jim.
Even
Trajan.
still,
Here.
it's supposed to be for that gym.
Isn't
Part
it?
of the story.
Isn't it great
Yes,
to have only
still.
2 Trajums instead of 3 Trajums?
We have 2 unique people named Trajan.
Even
There's nothing
so,
changing about it.
even though all those things you said were at the Trajan above me, I can still feel your ether. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No worries, friend.
My friends,
Can we
I hate
celebrate?
to change the tone so abruptly, but the seal is still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you
unfortunately.
know, the lurking threat of maybe the
So,
villain of this
actually-
whole timeline
What can we do,
might be
Trajan?
trying to get in
Should
here
we-
somehow. Might
should
want to
we-
deal with that.
Should we leave it
Archive
now?
remains
Let's
sealed, and
let's
so be
wait.
it.
Let's
Like,
see if
kick it?
Trajan has some idea. I
Well.
believe. Let's see.
Hugs first.
First of all, Biblos, are you still there? Will you let me in now? There is one more issue to address.
Alright.
And what would that be?
Or uninvited guest, I'm guessing.
Tell me, who, aside from you, should be allowed entry?
It's up to you, Trajan.
It's your call.
That is your choice.
It's up
We'll
to
leave
you,
it up to you.
Trajan.
The choice is ours, sir.
If you want,
Well.
we can all just sleep outside in this room.
Members of VR Travelers, right? The community.
Brought my friend.
If you wish.
If that's what you
Just
want.
gotta make sure to somehow keep that one intruder from getting in.
Well, he's
That's,
not a
I'm a
traveler,
little worried
right?
about that.
He's not a traveler, right?
I mean, he might pose as one. I don't know.
Biblos,
Well, how smart is Biblos? He's smart, right?
myself, members of VR Travelers, allies of mine, friends of mine. All others are denied, as is your power, as is our contract. Welcome home, Master Trajan.
Does Biblos need a hug
Well.
or something?
My friends, this is it.
Biblos is a real one.
Go in, go in.
telling me Biblos is a
How
whole.
do we have Biblos?
God, this music.
Oh.
Whoa!
Ready for crystals.
Music is a powerful thing
Crystals?
indeed.
I was.
Music
You know, I was
worried about
wondering where
these
we'd
glowing
find that.
books.
Huh? Oh my
Sheen?
god.
Oh man.
Rendizo? Where are you?
Abel.
Sheen.
Right here.
Can I take a
Next to
picture
the
of
crystal.
everybody in
See you.
front of the
Look at this
fireplace?
book. Across from the
Oh,
table.
there you are.
reading it.
Sheen, Rendizo. Well, I guess this is mine. Can we take it to the ether crystal room in the rendezvous?
I see no apparent danger. I believe Rendizo will be able to arrange transport.
Very
But
well.
Trajum, this crystal is powerful. This is a strange one. Are you sure you want to keep it in the rendezvous?
I don't want it anymore. No, I think I contain healthy amounts of anger. You can quote me on that. Renduzo, you'll need to get your forklift license back, though.
Yeah.
Hey,
There's no way I'm carrying this thing with my own two arms.
All right.
After the last incident, it was taken
I
away.
got,
Well,
I got thrusters. I can
for
carry
now
it
it
with me.
can sit here.
Last time.
I don't advise eating this one. I see some books over there, though. Perhaps this is
I wasn't
what we
built for the
seek.
mouth.
It is.
This is a library. It's full of books. Forces, components, domains.
There's one all about Abel too.
Interesting.
Phenomena one
Grouping
and two.
your
The knowledge.
Guys, look, it's over here.
We
The
Look
found
at
knowledge.
something. It's over here. Oh,
I
wow.
was
Where's
researching VR travelers
what?
this whole time.
Where's your?
This will be very useful. This gives us so
Phenomenal
much
one?
information. As tempting as it is to read this aloud, friends, please read this in your heads. This will be available on the Discord shortly in a post-it link.
That's a whole fucking thing.
For our
And
future
we will
reference.
always be able to come back here, right?
That's right. As long as you meet Biblos's conditions.
Oh my god.
All right then.
I think I'm gonna be making
It's
some
a
modifications
whole-
to the
Look at
handbook.
that
now.
answer the
This
entire
reminds
time.
me of.
Oh,
I think I need a minute.
Seems like something strange in Madhu.
Take your time.
I'm gonna end this recording there.